Greetings, everyone. Today, I want to discuss the newest release from one of my favorite developers, Capcom, and they've done it again. Resident Evil Requiem is an incredible game, and I want to frame this around the question of, is this the best Resident Evil game? Now, I'm recording this about a week out after its release, and I think that's important because when it comes to ranking something that is part of such a long-running series, Resident Evil has been around for 30 years now, I think it's important to let some time pass for it to settle into its place. I think you need some time to stew on it, and stewing is what I've been doing. So before I get into where I've ranked it, let's cover some basics. Now, I played this game on PS5 Pro. This is one of the best showcases we've gotten so far for the PS5 Pro's superior performance. In regards to its competition, I think it's head and shoulders above the base PS5, the Xbox Series, the Switch 2. Obviously, if you want to spend a couple grand and get a nice PC with a good graphics card, probably do a little better than the PS5 Pro. In regards to just the consoles, PS5 Pro is the best you can possibly get. Incredibly high fidelity while still running at a solid 60 frames per second, while also running ray tracing. The shadows and the lighting are really incredible. Not to mention the 3D audio is really impressive in this game. I played with the PS5 Pulse earbuds, very immersive. I really liked it. So the game ran pretty flawlessly. I did have one sort of minor graphical glitch that was pretty annoying. When I was using, say, a shotgun or a rifle, the strap that goes around Leon, it would sort of like hyperextend back behind me towards the camera. Reloading would usually fix it, but it was still pretty unfortunate because it was kind of immersion breaking. So that was the only issue I had with it. Let me know if anybody else has dealt with that, because I haven't really seen anyone talk about it. So hopefully they get that fixed. To dive into the gameplay, this is possibly the best Resident Evil gameplay wise, because it's really a Resident Evil greatest hits album. Everything the modern Resident Evil games, 7 and 8, 2, 3, and 4 remake, you're getting everything they have to offer, all condensed down into one awesome package. You are getting that tense and terrifying horror that you get from 7, particularly in the first person point of view, sneaking around, really having to decide how you're going to tackle each situation and really managing your inventory. You're getting that, but you're also getting the over-the-top action that you get with Leon Kennedy, just as you got with Resident Evil 4. Okay, so you're getting all the best stuff that Resident Evil has to offer gameplay-wise. Some people have criticized that and like make up your mind, pick one or the other. And I could see that. I could see how it could be jarring going from that slow, methodical first-person horror and then switching to the third-person, boom, all the way, arcadey almost style of Leon. But I think it works pretty well. I think they complement each other, and I think both of them together really elevate what this game is. As for the level design, I think it's really good, particularly the first half of the game, especially when you're playing as Grace in the care center. I think that is the best portion of this game. I think that whole level, that whole area to explore is really impressive. It was definitely my favorite part of the game. The enemies, I think, were really elevated in this game, especially in that beginning. The zombies sort of have some personality. They talk a bit, they have sort of a remnant of themselves in them. And that actually kind of goes away as the game goes on, which I thought was interesting. Now, some criticisms I have are, I think apart from a couple of the bosses, I think the bosses were not the strongest that we've seen in Resident Evil. I also think the puzzles were not the strongest we've seen in Resident Evil. There was no particularly iconic, really rememberable puzzles like in Resident Evil 2 with the chess pieces, for example. And then I won't really go into the bosses too much because I don't want to spoil anything. I don't know. None of the bosses felt like new, fresh, iconic things that we'll always remember. Another criticism I've seen that I don't agree with is the game is too short. I think this game has a perfect runtime. Most people say between 8 to 12 hours, My first playthrough actually took 15 hours, which is definitely on the longer side, but that's because I am such a double checker and an over explorer and a save-aholic, so I'm always running back and forth in between places I've already been, and I think I had about 70 saves in my first playthrough, which is definitely overkill. I think for a horror game like this, I think that 8 to 12, maybe 15 hours if you're like me, I think that's the perfect runtime for a game like this. I personally don't want to play a horror game that's over 20 hours, so I definitely disagree with that criticism. I understand it from the point of, oh, well, you're paying $70 for this game. It should offer me more than 8 to 12 hours of an experience, but you also have to consider the quality of those hours, and I think pretty much the whole way through this game is high quality. As I said, there is parts that I think are higher quality than others. I do think the entire game is worth your time, and if you have the money for it, yeah, $70 is a lot, but if you're not going to miss that too much, then it's definitely worth your money too. I won't go deep into the story because I think if you haven't played it yet, I think everyone needs to experience the story for themselves. It is a good Resident Evil story, and I like that we've gotten away from the direction we were going with 7 and 8, and we've sort of gone back to the roots, back to having Leon around and Raccoon City. I think that all worked really well, and I have seen some criticism that the game is just, oh, it's nostalgia bait. Oh, remember Leon? He's back. Remember Raccoon City? It's back. And while I think there is some of that, not particularly with Leon or Raccoon City, again, I won't spoil anything, but there is a couple moments that's, remember this, it's back. And, you know, it's like, I know what you're doing, but it kind of works. To me, anyway, I think it's exciting to have old things come back from the games that came before. So I think overall the story is really fun. There is a lot of campiness, and just having Leon back, I think, is exciting to get most Resident Evil fans back in the game. And could we talk about how Leon aged like a fine wine? I mean, what 50-year-old can pull off that emo haircut? Only Leon. So to get into the question of, is this the best Resident Evil? No, it's not. It's one of the best. It's easily in the top 3. Gameplay wise, I could definitely see the argument that it is the best, only because that you're getting all the best things the other games have to offer combat wise. But as far as the bosses, the puzzles, it's not the best. Moment to moment, this game is fantastic. I loved it. I think it's easily a 9 out of 10 horror game, but it is missing a certain iconicness that some of the previous games have, especially 2 and 4. I think 2 and 4 remake are both better than this game. And again, this game is amazing, and it's one of my favorite Resident Evils. I would not say that it is the best. I do think this game will be on a lot of people's Game of the Year list. I could absolutely see this game making it into the final 6 for the Game Awards. It won't win. I mean, horror games never win Game of the Year, but it will be discussed, and I think this game will be fondly remembered, and I think it'll be talked about for the rest of the year. So it's really, really an excellent game. Another thing that excites me is how well this game is selling and how well it's being received and reviewed. The game has sold over 5 million copies in its first week. If you check the Steam numbers, there's still like 100,000 people playing it, and that's not counting all the console players, which I imagine is where the majority of people are playing. So the game is being loved. It's got really high Metacritic numbers. It's selling super well. So what that means to me is, why on earth would Capcom not keep releasing more? So I think in the coming years, we will see a Resident Evil 10. In addition to, I'm sure we're going to get more remakes. So us as Resident Evil fans, we are eating good. And I think that's really great. So I love how this game is doing. I love the game. I don't think it tops Resident Evil 2 or Resident Evil 4. And that's okay, because those games are such high bars. I mean, it would be insane if they released a game that was better than those. But I think it's right up there with them. It's just missing just a little bit, just a couple iconic moments, a couple better puzzles, maybe one more really cool boss, and I think it might have tipped the scales. That's about what I have to say on this game. If you've played Resident Evil 9, let me know your thoughts down below, or if you haven't played and you have any questions, you can ask those down below. Obviously, this is a new channel. This is the first video I've uploaded to YouTube, so I would super appreciate anyone who enjoyed this at all to give a like and a subscribe. Comment what you thought. If you're feeling really generous, share the video with friends. Ring the bell. I do plan to make more videos covering games as they come out. So if you'd like to see any more, please like and subscribe. I would appreciate it so much. With that, I will say goodbye, guys, and I hope to see you on the next one.